Hey, what is up, Christopher? Okay, let's do this. All right, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need to help me sort of be able to give you some tips, and I can show you ways to set things up, and it'll be nice. But yeah, I mean, everyone's thumbnails and roughs are they're just that. I mean, they're just to get the idea down and to fill space. So don't even sweat it. So this is some advice that I'll give you that's actually helped me, and when I don't apply it, my drawings immediately get worse right now. Always remember that one thing that we're doing when we draw like a panel or a character or anything, it really will actually make things easier, is we're filling space, and as long as we use simple forms to fill the space, we're going to already be in a better position. And what I mean by that is, if you can just, um, literally, sorry, my pen got away from me for 1 second. If you can feel like even just like a simple mannequin, when you set up characters, say like her other leg was like this, you would be amazed at how much easier it is to draw like panels and stuff like that. Because the thing is um it's hard, like because you're kind of expected when you draw like a comic book to think about so many things. So I'm just gonna make this like the hand is kind of going away from us a little bit. But it's tough, and the thing is if you can just start to fill space with something as simple as this, you're going to be able to position things easier. So what ends up happening sometimes when we learn to draw from looking at finished drawings is we tend to focus on the surface detail of the stuff, meaning that you might be kind of looking at the form, but you're looking at an eye that's drawn, like this, and the eyebrow goes like this, and this is like this, and you see rendering or whatever it is on the face, and it's like, that's good, but that's kind of the last thing that you do. But for like something like this, like if you're going to draw a hand, the easiest way to set up the hand is if you can feel the palm wedge. We're going to pretend like this is just the simple, so this is the palm of the hand right here. This is the thumb wedge, and this is this, and this is kind of the side of the hand. This kind of stuff will really, really help. Whether you're using reference or you're not using reference, you'll definitely, and the same thing with the fingers, is like if I just feel really simple cylinders, I'm kind of already ahead of the game. Now, I'm not that good at drawing hands yet. I'm decent, and I'm getting better, but like yesterday I was drawing hands terribly, and this morning I'm drawing them better again, but it was like it comes and it goes for a little bit. But yeah, so this is my recommendation for you. And hand positions like this are actually very hard to do. Um, so if you can do this is what I recommend a lot of people when you're learning to draw. Cylinders are great, but the problem with cylinders is there's no edges to them, and so when you set up drawings with cylinders, although our body sort of maybe replicates this a little bit more, the problem is you don't know where the sides are, and so when you're drawing like well, this in particular, like this hand right here, thinking about it is this shape. This is the hand, and then this is the arm. Just having that sensation, it already helps me know that this is a three-dimensional space that's going to have something on it. And like this, if I'm going to put this. Now, the thing is I read in your email, you said, look, your main thing is you want to be able to tell stories. If you want to tell stories, you definitely want to know this stuff, because the thing is you never ever, as you move along and you improve with your skills, you don't want to feel limited in terms of what you're going to be able to sort of force into a page. And what I mean by that is the thing is most good comic book artists, they don't know how to draw everything, but they know how to solve any basic problem with drawing, and that leads you to be able to draw anything. Because the thing is once you really understand how to draw this type of stuff and then subdivide it into other things, all of a sudden really drawing anything is quite tangible, whether you know it or not. I mean, you can quickly find reference if you need it, in terms of like, what does a car, like a specific car look like, or whatever the case may be. I would don't ever get hung up on like, well, I don't know how to draw horses. If you know how to draw well, you can figure out how to draw a horse, or you can figure out how to draw a cat, or whatever it is. But if you can't put together basic shapes, then everything's going to be hard. So okay, so now let's start looking at the things that you've got here, and we can kind of dissect them. So overall, like I said, I mean, you've got a real good like front view face down. So we won't really bug out on like the girls' faces. So if this is the basic form for your head, one thing that you may want to do is just get used to being able to draw it at a lot of different angles. And this is another thing that I actually neglect, and I kind of try to go surface detail over form, and it bites me on the ass all the time, and my stuff is inconsistent from it. But like if you ever see a good like cartooning book, or stuff like that, they'll be like, this is how you set up the head. This isn't bad stuff to learn, from the beginning, because it will actually make your stuff more solid. I'm not really drawing any kind of particular character right now, but if you can start to set up craniums and stuff like that in your style, you don't need to learn someone else's type. That'll really come in handy, because you figure, like I'm drawing a page today. How many heads are on it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is a fairly simple page, but I have 8 heads that I'm going to need to draw today. So if I was getting stuck on every single head, it's going to be a very long day. And on top of that, I've got people playing guitar in 5 panels, and that's not easy to do. You ever try to draw a guitar or someone's fingers on a guitar? That's a pain in the ass. But yeah, so the model that you're using for your head seems to be working for you. So all these snake-like appendages. So what I want you to start feeling with stuff like this is, don't forget, your paper has depth. This can start to go away from you. And the thing that you're going to want to remember when you're drawing, so that things don't get flat, is as soon as something is going into the scene, things start to recede, like in this type of idea with the train track idea, where as the tracks get further away, the train tracks start to get tighter and tighter together. This literally goes for everything that you draw and any kind of detail that you put on stuff. Nothing in your drawing should ever feel flat, and that's why I was saying with those pinup girls that you did, to me, everything was kind of reading flat. Even the shoe, everything was very conveniently lined up. You know what I mean? You had a little bit of depth on the chair, was very, simple. But the thing is if you had to turn that foot, would you be able to turn it? Could you start to have it where all of a sudden now the heel is like this, and you're starting to see different angles of the foot, because you're going to need to be able to do this stuff, how you're going to be able to figure that out. And I mean, I could just keep rotating this thing in space and drawing it really any angle I want. But I'm using very simple, shapes. And the thing is they are based on this idea. Meaning this is the heel, this is the tip of the foot. And the thing is it's real simple to be able to carve this. And if you wanted to have the leg itself, you can pop stuff like on that real quick, and obviously you're going to give it more sexy lines. But yeah, so like when you're doing these snake things, I saw it when I was looking at the thumbnails of these. But remember that this is a cylindrical shape. that you can have it going away, or you could have it coming towards us. Sorry, I was going to grab the page. You know, so these would be smaller and tighter together. And so any detail that you were going to put on this thing could change. So those type of ideas will really, really help you. All right, let's keep going. And this is nice. You know, this is a very, very nice face. This one's getting away from you a little bit. What it is the eyes are pretty good. The nose is I think positioned well. The mouth, we'll just make this real simple. You want just a slighter chin on it. And her cheek actually was getting away from me a little bit, but anyway. And then her neck could come down like this. You know, and right now I'm almost inking my own stuff off of drawings that are this loose. Once I have the structure down, I'm actually going to finishes from this right now on Crystal Planet. I won't do that on the Blaster Kid book, but I mean, I can actually finish this pretty decently right now. It would be a little tighter than that, but I mean, you get the idea. I'm trying to show you an example. So with a character like this, same deal. What we want to do is we want to feel that mannequin. You know, I'm trying to think. I wouldn't recommend them just because there's so many Chinese bootlegs of it out there, but you've probably seen it advertised online. Is that the little doll, like the mannequin doll thing that they have the male and female of? I looked and looked and looked and tried to find the real company that originally made them and not the Chinese bootlegs. The Chinese bootlegs are terrible. But if you know, here's a recommendation for you that might be kind of cool is try to find a decent Barbie doll or something along those lines that you can get at like a blowout toy store, and strip it down and then take pictures. No. But you could use that to actually kind of feel form and space for a little bit, you know what I mean, and get used to being able to you know, move your character around. If you want to have the arm going back, you know, you could have it coming like this or going away from you, you know what I mean. These really, really simple, but they're three-dimensional, they're not flat. Remember, there's always a side plane to stuff. Side plane. This is the side of her ass. It'll come in really handy, and you'll be able to see that on the dolls. If you can get a couple, buy like 2 or 3, you know, if they're like $5 or something at, like, you know, again, like a dollar store. You know, you could even draw on them a little bit and put some anatomy. But yeah, if you can get used to being able to draw like this is kind of like the doll body thing. You know, and the thing is that I can just throw legs on this so fast. If I want to have the leg going back in a space and a foot down here, or have her other leg out here, I mean, you could just keep winging it. I could have her torso leaning over where she's kind of, you know, coming around this way and have an arm up. But it's all based on really basic shapes. So get warm for form. But you could see how this is helpful. So this was the piece that I saw that I think would potentially be problematic for you, because everything still is kind of going straight up and down. Again, watch your size relationships of the figure. So again, it's not a big deal, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to feel this We'll pretend like we can see through it for right now. Okay, and then I'll do this in a different color for you. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that our basic shape is what we want first. Don't think of it as a leg. Don't think of it as a foot. All you want to do is you want to create the most simple three-dimensional form that you can and lay it in on your thing. So I'm going to take it right to the knee. This is a lot of real estate. I'm going to make it a little smaller. It's hard to draw. I'm on a 27-inch Cintiq. You can't see like how far I'm having to move my arm. So we'll talk about knees for a second. So here's like a leg. We're not going to worry about the anatomy on the leg right now, but we're going to talk about the kneecap. So the kneecap, the way that I describe it to people so that you can get a simple hang of it, is that's kind of what it looks like from the front. Pretty simple, right? It's not as intimidating as you might think. So you'll see a lot of comic book artists sometimes sort of indicate it like that, and they might put a little bit of a dimple where the muscle is kind of coming over it. Or you might see something like this with a little bit of a gap over it. But where it gets interesting is when you have to start drawing it at different angles. So again, here's that thing. So that's from a side view. You see this? Now watch how quick I can put anatomy on this. And this muscle goes up to here. This muscle comes into here. There's like 3 muscles in here. This comes around here. And I mean, you can flesh this stuff out so fast. So I want you to get excited about these ideas and play with the ideas. So play with this simple kneecap for right now. There's more to it than this, but yeah, if you can, and you don't need to, the thing is learning some of this stuff is going to affect your drawings in sort of adverse ways right now, which is you're not really drawing kneecaps anyway. Like, this isn't really the point of that drawing, is to flex your kneecap ability. But it's an accumulative concept, meaning that, you know, learn to fish. Now all of a sudden you can catch all the fish. Learn how to understand that a kneecap works like this. Now all of a sudden elbows won't be confusing. The wrist joint won't be as confusing. You know what I mean? It's an all-encompassing thing. I always kind of joke and tell people that sometimes I'm showing you things to trick you, because I know what unlocks multiple doors. So yeah, but again, where this will help you too is this idea of, remember I talked about the wedge for the arm. So once you can feel that this is a wedge, it's much easier to like even interlock this stuff on it, and then also pop a hand onto it, you know, however, if you wanted to have the hand open, or if you want to have a fist. Those simple shapes will get you. I mean, even like her torso it's drifting quite a bit. Her breasts are crooked and stuff like that. And I know that these aren't finished drawings, so I'm not being critical of it that way. But what my point is it'll help you when you block stuff in. Is if you, even for right now, I mean, I wouldn't even discourage doing as simple a shots as possible and trying to make them as solid as possible. But if you can get even this type of body down and just, you know, again, almost exactly what you're doing. But the thing is her body is drifting this way in yours, and this simple version of it, once we find the center line, then we know that these collarbones go like this. It'll be a little easier to drop in her breasts. You can, you know, give a little suggestion of a rib cage or her belly button. Her hips might fall here. you know, and it'll give you a slightly more solid drawing. So, and that'll be fun for you, you know. Yeah. So with these, you know, it's going to be keep using that head model that you have, and you know, always try to find a center line. Sorry, my line kind of went off, but the thing is there's going to be a middle to the face, even at an angle. So, no, your eyebrows are up higher, but there you go. Pull the head back. Then I'm feeling the middle of the chest. That'll really help too, because I'll tell you what, when it was real hard for me, is I would have a lot of trouble figuring out, like, I would be able to draw like a head in a panel like this. I had no idea what to do with the freaking body. If I could get the neck in, I felt lucky, and then you know, finishing it was even harder. You know, you could have her kind of looking over at us or whatever. That's a nice face right there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm totally down with that. You put detail on that. That's a very, very attractive understructure. And trust me, I've dissected really good drawings that don't even have understructure that's as nice as that, where like the finished pieces will look really good, but you take off all the detail and just put the eyes and stuff in, and you go, man, I can't believe that you know, this type of thing can turn into such a kick-ass like finished drawing. But it's just, you know, all I did was I looked at the eyes. The eyes seem to be kind of on point in yours, and then I just figured out where the center point was. I moved the nose over and I moved the mouth over. Now watch when I start to remove it, what happens. And your arms would you know. And again, I'm just filling space right now. I know that there's a shoulder piece that's kind of like this. This takes up this much room, and this. And if I was gonna do some breasts, you know, I might have them like that. But anyway, watch out. Now I'm going to remove my lines, and then watch where your face is going in the thing. You're going to see. Watch where your mouth is immediately. Oh, I guess. Okay, see where your mouth is, and then watch. And I didn't really change where your eyes were, and your nose drifted too. Okay, now watch. I'll put it back. Overall, your eyes stayed in the same exact spot, but I found the middle of this. Oh, shoot, when I do that, now I can't go back to my original thing. Fuck. So annoying. Oh, I hate that they won't do that. Anyway, you can watch it on the video, but anyway, once I found this triangle here, everything lined up with that. The lips were here. The nose was more right here. Okay. And these are nice, you know. You clearly, like I've said a bazillion times in 50 million different ways, you finish these faces really good. So continue doing that, and you're already ahead of most people with that. So same recommendation. You're gonna need to, like, if someone's holding a phone, I would highly recommend you snap a photo of yourself or your girlfriend, or if you have a little sister or your mom or whoever you live with, a roommate. You know, if you need a woman's hand more, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you could do with either. Really, what you're gonna want to do is just see the position of the fingers. But you know, the thing is remember, this is the side of the hand. This is starting to show the side of this. It will really benefit the drawing, and then, you know, however you're gonna do it. Maybe there's a finger that kind of pops out here. Whatever it is, and for even for something like this, you know, the thing is just stick a block here. That's like that's like the beginning of the knuckles coming over the thing, you know. Whatever it is. This finger is too long, but stuff like that will help you, you know. And it's real quick to take in and out. That's the other great thing about it is, you know, this is a far more forgiving shape to have to erase real quick than some sort of super detailed thing that you spend a ton of time on just to realize that, oh shoot, well the middle finger and the pointer finger are like weird sizes together. So anyway, but yeah, reference for hands I would recommend for a while. I mean, hands are just, you know, they are complicated, you know, there's no two ways about it, and they've got sort of a personality to them that is, it's difficult to sort of fake. Trust me, I get my ass handed to me by hands every day. Let me see one thing. I'm going to count how many hands are on my page I'm drawing right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'm going to have to draw 14 hands today. And that kind of practice definitely will pay off for me down the road. But yeah, so if you can, I've done a couple of hand videos, so I won't go into it a lot here, but this is a nice shape to sort of set up hands with. You can also do the cylinder version of it. You know, whatever one feels most comfortable for you. And then even this, just for positioning the hand, you know, because that kind of represents the skeleton, and it's sort of a rounder version of this. This one is helpful only because, again, you're going to be able to see the sides, which can play up into feeling this wedge thing. But off of this, I mean, you can, in theory, do the round ones. I'm going to make this... But doesn't this remind you of like things you would see in like drawing books for kids and stuff like that? It's very deceiving because people go, well, come on, Rich, I want to do crazy cool stuff. Dude, you get this stuff down, you could draw the shit out of this. You already know you can detail faces. Do you think it's going to be any different with this stuff? Of course not. It's same thing. These are fine. I mean, you're just blocking in and you're filling space, exactly like I said. With the hands here, you know, again, if you can feel this type of thing, and then, you know, we'll turn these more into cylinders later. But so that's the basic arm shape. And then the thing is you can look really quick. This one's wider than this one, so I already know that I need to adjust one of them. So we'll say that this one was more accurate. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put that palm wedge here, and I'm going to stick the other palm wedge under here. You can already see that it wouldn't make it out on the other side. And then I can just kind of gesture in my fingers however I want, you know, whatever it was. And again, I would recommend reference so that you know, oh, okay, well, this finger is going to go up. These two sort of hang out together. You know what I mean? There's subtleties to the fingers that right now neither you or me should be trying to fake, other than if you just have to get something done. But, you know, it just takes time. Time and experience. Okay? And this... You know, I mean, and you know, I can see that the hands are something that we're going to need to work on. And again, watch for the proportions here. So again, if you can block stuff in just using these simple kind of Barbie doll shapes for now, or whatever you want to call it, like if you have any kind of toy doll that you can either have in clothes or not, I mean, it'll really come in handy. And this stuff is fun. That's the thing is, I get that you can go in Eclipse Studio and they've got the little poser mannequins that people can use, but wouldn't it be funner to learn how to do this and be able to knock shit out as fast as I am right now? I mean, to me, this is infinitely more rewarding. And I didn't have anyone helping me realize how quick I could learn it. So the thing is, for me, is I had to hit my head against the wall for years and years and years, and I tried every aversion to just going straight towards this thing, You know, I'm like, well, maybe if I do this over here and then I come around here, and if I use this tool that people use here, it's like, no, this is 1,000 times faster than setting up a poser model. And I can move this thing around all freaking day. You know what I mean? Like I can change poses so fast on something like this, you know? It's like, do I want her hand here? Do I want her hand here? Do I want it coming towards us? You know, do I want the elbow going back into space, or do I want to pull it in front of her body? You're going to have infinite options. And the only thing that will limit you is range of motion, and then being able to set up your torso and stuff like that properly. Because that's the thing is, it's easy for me to give you all these examples right now, but I have to make sure that as a pose it works. So it's not as easy as just all this. But fundamentally, I think you get the point of what I'm saying is, you know. So okay, I'm gonna end it here. I think we've covered everything, and I'm nearly sure that we've crossed over the amount of time. But you are well on your way. With this stuff like this, you're golden, and you ultimately end up with like nice drawings, so everything is good. And the great thing is your backgrounds will get better as you get better at these form things that I'm recommending. But you know, again, just remember to feel these shapes. Almost felt like she needed another finger. You can have that like that, or maybe it's kind of goes up into there. But anyway, that's hard hand right there. So okay, man, good luck with everything. Have fun with this, and my recommendation is try to find a few dolls that you can get nude, and if they have any kind of even articulation. I mean, you don't need full articulation, because I think you get the point of how you're going to move stuff around. To me right now, the crux of why a doll like something like that will be handy is so that you can feel this box, the amount of space that's kind of in between this and then the hip box. And if these can rotate, then even better, because then you can kind of start to feel stuff like this. This is going away from us, so this cylinder is going back. So the curve on this is going to curve this way because it's cans going away from us in space. And what happens when they go farther away? These lines, if she had stripes on her, would get tighter and tighter and tighter as they go back, and things get smaller and smaller. That's our little kneecap. And if it was from the side, it would be like that for now. Shin bone. Keep it simple. There's a second bone here, but anyway. All right. Good luck with this and have fun. That's the bottom line. Experiment. Keep doing your pages though, you know? And look, the thing is sometimes when you learn new things, your art will go backwards a little bit, but that's not a permanent issue. So don't freak out if you're like, man, I'm putting this stuff into my art and now I can't draw like I could. Rich messed me up. It's going to be fine. You'll blend the two over a period of, you know, a few weeks or a month or so. So yeah, don't worry if you start to regress a tiny bit. Anytime you learn new things, it's like it's going to immediately pull you out of your comfort zone, and you're going to be unsure about what you're doing, and you're going to question things. It's totally normal. But I assure you that this stuff will pay off huge dividends for you. So, all right, you have a good one, Christopher. Good luck with this, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.